Destination Venus, an adventure with Rocky Starr. After an uneventful flight from Venus, the blue streak breaks through the outer atmosphere of the Earth and screams down toward the Nullarbor Plain. There, a space field has been prepared in the desert wastes. Nearby stands a lonely control tower in the midst of some 50 tents. For the last few days, these tents have been crowded by reporters, newsreel men, and radio commentators from all parts of the world. As the spaceship comes into sight, cameras begin whirring, reporters write hurriedly, and radio commentators flash their descriptions across the world.
The giant blue streak seems to be floating like a huge cigar, down towards us. I never thought that Great Scott, someone's firing at it. Shells are bursting all round the blue streak. It's flying straight into them. Rocky Starr seems oblivious of his danger. The ship will be destroyed.
In the control tower, frantic warnings are radioed to Rocky.
Control to blue streak. Gain height. Gain height. You're flying into anti-aircraft barrage. Don't land. Don't land.
Despite their efforts, the spaceship drops closer and closer to the bursting shells. In the blue streak, Rocky and Mitch are staggered by their latest instructions.
Gain height. You're flying
Hey, those guys gone crackers.
Look in the rear television screen.
Razzmatazz.
They're awfully close, Rocky.
Stand by to fire rear rockets. 1 second from now. Fire! Give me a speed reading.
50 miles. Losing.
Hey, them shells seem thicker now. If they hit our tail rockets, we're gone.
Hang on. Speed.
0.
Another burst and we're right.
Speed.
25.
Give it more, Rocky boy, and we'll be out of trouble.
Well, that should get us out of range.
75. Increasing.
Rocky, you did it. Say, I'd like to have the rooster in here that's gunning for us.
Yeah, so would I.
I wonder what it's all about.
I guess someone just don't like us.
Control the blue streak. Climb to 100,000 feet. Taking action to silence guns. Contact you and clear the land. Out.
In the control tower, orders are snapped out and 2 pilots run for helicopters. Within a few seconds, the noise of the machines drown out conversation. With a roar, they take off in search of the guns. Meanwhile, reporters write furiously and hurry to the telephone booths installed there. Radio commentators, their voices hoarse with excitement, flash the news to a startled world. 15 minutes later, a pilot reports back to control.
Located guns. 7 miles north-northeast of control. 7 miles north-northeast of control. Over.
Any instructions, Colonel?
Tell him to remain there and that we're sending men.
Yes, sir. Control to Copter A. Remain there. Sending men. Remain there. Sending men. Out.
Extraordinary thing. Why the deuce would anyone fire at the blue streak?
Right, I can't tell you.
You don't have to. I'm merely thinking aloud. We might find out something when our chaps round up the gunners.
About the blue streak.
We'll bring them down when we're sure those guns are out of action.
I sure hope them control guys know what they're talking about.
Well, it's pretty obvious if they've silenced the guns.
Well, we haven't run into any more shells.
We're not on the ground yet.
We soon will be, Anne.
Yeah, you cut the cackle and put it down nice and gentle. I'd hate us to prang after all we've been through.
All right, here we go.
Well, apart from a couple of broken bones, I couldn't have done better myself.
Well, switch off gyros.
Gyros off.
Open the airlock.
Airlock open.
Well, we're home again.
Oh, boy, am I looking forward to a nice, juicy steak. I'll say I am.
Oh, forget your stomach.
Relax, chicken. Don't snap off my head.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mitch. I didn't mean to.
I thought you would have been as happy as a queen. After all, you'd be seeing your father. Ain't you happy?
In one way. In another, I'm sorry it's all over.
So am I, Anne. It's
Been a long time.
Yeah, I figure we've been away about 9 months.
It'll be hard to settle down to routine work again.
Yes, I suppose it will.
Listen, got news for you. We won't ever do routine stuff again. No, sir. We relax, spend the rest of our lives giving lectures on Venus. Boy, I can just hear myself.
So can I.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rocky, don't hurt me. You know I'm a very sensitive boy. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ann and Rocky about to be swallowed by a hungry face full too.
Oh,
and what
Mitch,
did I
you're
do?
wonderful.
Listen, Mitch, you won't be able to tell too many whoppers, you know. Those films we took will give you away.
Say, I'll only talk about the things we didn't film. Well, come on, we can't stick around here forever. Let's go meet ourselves the welcoming millions.
There won't be more than a handful here, Mitch.
Little did Rocky realize the reception that awaited them. The moment the spaceship touched down, huge gantries were pushed alongside. Within a few minutes, reporters swarmed up the stairs to the cabin door to greet our friends. Rescued from the endless barrage of questions by Colonel Knight of the United Nations Interplanetary Commission, Rocky and the others walked to a small dais for the official welcome. Millions of people throughout the world listened as the Prime Minister paid his tribute.
You three, by your daring, your courage and endurance, have proved that travel between the great planets of the universe is both possible and close at hand. I foresee, in the near future, great trade routes being opened up between our far-off neighbors. Giant spaceships carrying holidaymakers to resorts on Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. And it is because of these three young people that all that will be more possible much more quickly than we had dreamed. And now, all that remains is for me to officially welcome home Rocky Starr, his Chief Lieutenant, Mitch Morgan, and last, but loveliest of them all, Anne Vernon. Welcome home. May I, Rocky Starr, on behalf of the people of Australia, invite you to be our guests for a long holiday.
For days, Rocky and the others faced a barrage of cameramen and reporters. They made public appearances at theaters and talked of their travels. Finally, Colonel Knight rescued them from the rounds of civil engagements and took them for a quiet holiday. Later, they discussed the flight with scientists from the Interplanetary Commission. Some weeks after their return, they went to Melbourne to deliver lectures. One day, Mitch was telling one of their hotel porters of their experiences on Venus.
And there I was, son, surrounded by 50 negasaurs. Gee, maybe it was more. Didn't have time to count them, you know. Yeah, well, watching these things, and what do you know? One of them had Ann in his mouth, another was making off with Rocky. And... Son, don't interrupt me. I'm in the middle of telling you something. Please don't keep on saying gee to me. It's very disturbing. Well, there I was. Where was I? Oh, yeah, was I afraid? Don't answer that, I'll tell you. No, sir, I just hopped aboard a nearby Voltool and chases after them negasaurs. You may look surprised, then no wonder, because you ought to see them Voltools. They're terrific. They're a huge bird, big as me, and can that baby fly? Well, I hops aboard the flying monster and says to it, take off, brother. In Viennese, of course.
Gee, can you speak the language?
Nothing, son. It's just one of my many accomplishments. Grab yourself an earful of this. Hey, Cap. Full. That's the way they say it up there. That means take off. And with a frightening fluttering of its gigantic wings, the monster took into the air after them negasaurs. Sat back and rode for dear life. With my atomic pistol at the ready to deal out death and destruction.
Mitch.
Was just a...
Mitch!
Well, Rocky.
Gee, Rocky. And Ann.
Yeah, they were my assistants on the flight. They were all right, you know, pretty smart people, but
Thank you very much, Mitch. Thank you very much. Listen, you don't have to believe all he tells you, you know.
Gee, you're wonderful.
Oh, that's nothing. It's just
Well,
some people get born with it and some don't. I just happen to be one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I better do some work. Will you finish that story, Mitch?
Anytime, son, anytime. As long as you got a couple of days to spare, we'll tell you the rest of my experiences.
Mitch, you ought to be ashamed of yourself telling him all that nonsense.
Chicken, they expect it of me. Can't disappoint 'em by telling 'em the truth.
Just a minute, hold it. We're having visitors.
Probably some more of my fans have been brushing them off all day.
Mm-hmm. Not surprised, but I can tell you that this chap's no fan of yours.
How do you know?
Just a hunch. Not a very pleasant type, is he?
Say that again.
You Rocky Starr,
Yes?
I have a message for you.
Oh, well.
Mr. Starr, you will be asked to undertake another space flight. I suggest you do not accept the offer.
Really?
Take my advice and remain on Earth.
Why should we?
Because if you go, there's danger ahead.
Rocky and Mitch tense as they hear the tall stranger's ominous words. Who is this man and what does he know of the future? Be sure to be with us for the next exciting chapter of the new Rocky Starr adventure, Destination Danger!